Good morning, everybody. Great to see you here. Thanks for coming. I'm going to do a quick wheat round what MDG2 is, the one about education. There's been a campaign going on for quite a while now for everyone to have access to education. The global campaign for education includes many countries. The UK version of it is Send My Friend to School. Who's in that? About 30 different organisations. There's teacher unions, there's agencies like my own, Oxfam, there's Christian Aid, Save the Children, Comic Relief. But there's also millions of people around the world. I dare say some of you have already been involved in the global campaign for education, Send My Friend to School, the one around sending a teacher to school. So 1 million young people have taken part in the UK. So how it started with this. The year 2000, they said that all children would have an education by 2015. There's only 2 years left, not a lot of time left. The figures, just quickly going through them, there you are, 57 million. Still don't have that chance. They reckon that probably around 1.7 million extra teachers are going to be needed to achieve that goal in the next couple of years. But even beyond that, once they've gone through school, there are so many adults still don't have an education. Who's missing out particularly? It's the most vulnerable, disadvantaged and marginalised people. Girls. A lot of girls are are not getting to school, and sometimes, I don't know about any of you, but the first thing I did this morning was run into the toilet. Afghanistan have made great progress in this, just by quite simple solutions of having study rooms where girls can go on their own, but adjoined onto that's a toilet where they can have that kind of privacy. Increasing conflict around the world makes it very dangerous sometimes for young people to go long distances, as Gilly was telling us, that they have to go, especially if they live in quite far-flung places. Children with disabilities especially, a lot more provision has to be there for them. And what they're saying, coming up to the 2015 MDGs, what happens next, a lot of the discussion is around all of the people who've been left out. We can't make these mistakes again. We can't afford to make these mistakes again. Things like, I was recently in Guatemala. 28 different languages are spoken in Guatemala, but schooling is in Spanish, which excludes, really, an awful lot of the people living there. Going back to what has been achieved, 50 million more children. Lots of countries have managed to end school fees, which was a big barrier. World leaders as well have pledged $3 billion per year to education, but that's only about a third of what's needed, and time's running out. We need a lot more pledges to make this happen. Nelson Mandela, another quote from him, his most famous quote is, "Education is the most powerful weapon to change the world." What he's saying to all of us here is today that we can all get involved, we can do things, we can get involved in campaigns like the Send My Friend to School. All sorts of things have been happening, and I'm sure some of you have been involved in those, and they can have an impact. Now, there's loads more information on the Send My Friend to School on their website here, resources for schools, actions that you can take to support it. But before I finish, one thing, and Gilly mentioned Julius Nyerere of Tanzania. He said, take all your money and spend it in your own country so that people understand the causes and the reasons for poverty. The big issue that's coming up in 2015 is equality of education. It's not enough that there are bums and seats. It's got to be an education that's worthwhile. I'd like to read out, it's a letter that's always meant quite a lot to me working in education in Scotland. Dear teacher, I am a survivor of a concentration camp. My eyes saw what no man should witness: gas chambers built by learned engineers, children poisoned by educated physicians, infants killed by trained nurses, women and babies shot by high school and college graduates. So I'm suspicious of education. My request is, help your students to become human. Your efforts must never produce learned monsters, skilled psychopaths, or educated murderers. Reading, writing, and arithmetic are important, but only if they serve to make our children more human. And I would finish with a plea. Some of you might have come across global citizenship education in Scotland. There are a number of organisations in Education Scotland who are offering support in that, which is about all of us here learning how to make the world a more equal, more just place. I would argue and finish by saying that every child in whatever country is entitled to that kind of education as well. Thanks very much.